to Donald Trump. Rachel, thank you for your reporting. Of course, we'll be checking back with you throughout the night. For more now, I want to bring in Congresswoman Lisa Blunt Rochester, running for Senate in Delaware and national co-chair for President Biden's reelection campaign. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. In a New York Times Siena College poll of registered voters nationwide, Donald Trump is polling ahead of President Biden, 48 to 43%. Is the Biden campaign worried at all that they may not have the same support from Democrats that he did in 2020?
Well, Linsey, first, thank you for having me, particularly on this Super Tuesday. And it has been a Super Tuesday for President Biden and Vice President Harris. You know, I think as a campaign, we look at polls, but what we pay more attention to and what we think is a better predictor of how people will vote is how they've already voted. And so if we look back at the early primaries that have already passed, overwhelmingly, Democratic voters have stepped up for Joe Biden, for President Biden, whether it was 90%, 86% in states like New Hampshire, where he wasn't even on the ballot, he got 60%. And so, again, what we are really paying attention to is what the voters do. And this is a really important and pivotal moment. And so we want to make sure that people understand the sense of urgency about why voting now for Joe Biden means something to our democracy, means something for us as we look at our economy, as we look at all the things that we've already been able to deliver, but also the work that's still yet to be done.
And Congresswoman, as you well know, winning elections often has to do a lot with winning the independent voters over. But the president's approval rating among independents in California tonight is at 35%. What do you say to those independent voters who are perhaps dispirited about the economy, who are questioning the president's fitness for the job, and more who may not support him come November?
Well, you know, one of the things that we know, and we've said that this race is going to be a tough race. And so we're taking it seriously. The president is ensuring that we are getting out to as many voters to not just tell them, but show them what he's been able to accomplish on everything from capping the cost of insulin for our seniors to $35 to making sure that something that has long been talked about, our infrastructure, building roads, bridges, and even providing broadband internet to individuals, making sure that our veterans have the benefits and supports that they need through the PACT Act, and the largest investment in climate in the history of this country, bringing jobs back during a pandemic. Our goal is to make sure that people see, feel, and hear what he's been able to accomplish working with Democrats in the House and Senate, and that they know that he will continue to do the job. When I came into Congress, I will tell you, I was elected in 2016. I came in at the same time as Donald Trump, and I have served under both presidents. And I can tell you, under Donald Trump, it was constant confusion, chaos. Are we going to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act? Are we going to do infrastructure? No, it didn't get done. Are we calling people names? It was constant. And there was also January 6th, where I was one of the people trapped up in the gallery. And so I know firsthand what that presidency looked like and what the presidency of Joe Biden has looked like, where he has been concerned not about himself, but where he gets up every single morning thinking about, what can I do for the American people? How can I serve all of Americans? And that includes Democrats, Republicans, and independents. And so we're going to continue to make the case that you can choose between a president who's for some or himself, or a president who is for all of us.
Are you
and
concerned?
That's Joe Biden.
Are you concerned at all, though, about the undecided staying on the sidelines, perhaps, and not coming out to vote at all in November?
One of the things that I think is really important as well is that this campaign is going to work for every single vote. And, you know, even as we're going through this process, the fact that people are stepping up and voting, that sends a strong signal. That's a good thing. Are we concerned? No, because we're going to we're going to work every single day until election day to make sure that people know that we're working for their vote. The vice president and the president, President Biden, has been tireless in his efforts. And so this election, we always talk about the fact that this is the most pivotal election of our lifetime. This truly is a critical election, a pivotal election of our lifetime that deals not only with these important issues of the economy and our environment, but also deals with the foundation of this country: voting rights, democracy, reproductive freedom. I mean, the fact that we don't know what direction Republicans have said, oh, we support IVF. But there is an opportunity to pass legislation, and they vote it down. The same is true with Roe versus Wade. The Dobbs decision fundamentally changed things for so many. And I've said, this is really about freedom. It is about our fundamental freedom and rights. And so I believe that people are going to come to the polls. I believe they're going to show up and show out. And we want to make sure that people understand that this moment is a critical moment, an inflection point for our country, and that we have a strong leader in Joe Biden who is ready, willing, able, has already done it, and will continue to do more to uplift our country.
And I know you say that Joe Biden is ready, willing, and able, Congresswoman. I am curious how you would respond to critics who say, look, I like Joe Biden. He's just too old. He's just not potentially with it as far as his mental acuity. I'm curious about his fitness. I'm worried about simply his age. How would you respond to that?
I would respond, look what he's doing. I mean, what he's been able to accomplish in these 4 years is more than some presidents do in 2 terms. And so to me, look at the results, look at what he's getting done, and look at how he's getting it done. He's bringing people together instead of pulling us apart as a country. If we want to see our democracy, our freedoms, and continue to see a thriving economy and a safe planet, then we need to continue to have somebody like Joe Biden as our president. And I would just say, again, look at what he's doing. Don't just listen to what folks out here are saying who really want to misdirect and send us down a bad path, going backwards. No, we want to go forward. And I know that Joe Biden is going to take us forward.
All right, Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester, so appreciate your time and you joining us tonight.
Thank you.